Hello and welcome to today's Copeland Coins stream. We are doing this pre-recorded this time, but it's very exciting because we are talking about 3 tips for confidence in performing, unique tips. And here to talk with us about that today is Mr. Jeff Copeland. What's up,
Hey,
Jeff?
I'm here. Excited to be here. 3 tips. That's 6. How about 3?
3 tips.
Just 3 today.
Three
Because we're
tips.
gonna keep this moving along with stuff. I don't have we talked about these? This is new stuff. We don't
New
want
stuff.
people to think nothing recycled here. We've got brand new 3 tips for you.
Yes, unique things too that
Unique.
maybe some other people don't think about all the time, or you could scour the internet forums and find eventually. But we're bringing it all to you here in one quick shot. And
From 2 workers, guys, practical advice. We've been there before. We have reasons for these tips. So,
mhm.
yeah.
Well, let's start off with the first tip because this was an interesting one that you mentioned, Jeff, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Rest. What do you mean by rest?
Oh, rest. Oh, rest my aching bones. So you practice, you practice, you practice, you practice. You want to get good at this. You want to go and perform the trick. That breather space, right? Like, so if you're just running nonstop, like something I started practicing or trying my best to practice, I have 2 small kids, is a Sabbath day each week. Whether you're religious or not, just a day of rest. And what I found is if you come full speed into that Sabbath day, you can't slow down and stop. You're not going to enjoy the rest. You have to prepare yourself for it. So what I'm saying is before that performance, before you get on stage, you need a break, a breather. Let your like if you're working out the gym, you let your muscles rest right before you go back to work those same exact muscles again because it needs time to rest and heal. Like if you cook a good steak, you let it rest before you serve it. A lot of casseroles and things like that. The same idea because that energy, everything that you worked on, it continues to bake and cook even after you take it out of the oven. And so, I hope that makes sense.
No, I love that. The bake and cook analogy I really like specifically because when I think of this rest thing like you're talking about, it's there's this scientific type idea. I don't know where it comes from, but I'm sure you've heard it. Is where you, if you're trying to learn something, and you learn it the night before you or before you go to bed, right? You
Yeah,
try to learn it, you read something, and then you go to sleep, and the next morning when you wake up, your brain has been processing what you were learning all night long even though you've
yeah,
been sleeping and you're better at it automatically. It kind of like works with muscle memory. Like if you're learning a new coin technique and you're trying to get something down, maybe the Mons change, right? And you're working
uh-huh.
on that before bed, and then you go to sleep and you get up the next day, it'll be easier for you like automatically. It's almost like real magic. Like it's like, well, how is this happening? Your brain is still working on it as you're sleeping.
Yeah, it should be, right, in theory, and hopefully it is, because you've given yourself a little bit of rest. Now, I can't say that it's gonna make everything automatic, but
No.
yeah, I was thinking about you said demands change there and, like, how it I learned that rather quick, but I also gave myself some time to rest and just, think about other things. Do another hobby, go for a walk, whatever you like. I think that's the design of the universe, and I think I'm glad science has proved that, but smart people have known that for many, many, many years. Goes back, and there's a wonderful magician in the community, and I saw a teaching or a lecture or performance of him where he's talking about like the idea that like he likes to work through his through his sleep, and I'm like, whoa, like I would say in my younger days I tried stuff like that, but I just don't think that's a very good idea. Like the idea you just go do something different, like just step away from it completely. Like that cooking knowledge. My mother-in-law makes exceptional homemade bread. She's been doing it for years. She's got a starter and all that kind of stuff going. And if you eat that the second it comes out of the oven, it'll be hot, it'll be tasty. But if you wait for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and let it cool down to just warm, like it's exceptional. It's like just mind-numbingly good. And it needs that extra time out of the oven to sit there and finish. It finishes on its own. And so yeah, rest.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, because they say the same thing with when you're grilling meat, right? You
Yeah,
take
yeah.
the meat off the grill and let it. They literally say let it rest.
Yes.
All those
Yeah.
juices come together and everything,
Yeah,
align.
I'm not a cook. Maybe somebody can write in the comments, but I understand if you got a steak on a grill at 350 degrees, well, the outside of that steak is going to get up that temperature, but you want to keep the inside cool or to a pink. And so when you pull that steak off, that 350-degree outside of the steak is still going to be an oven for the inside of the steak. So if you cook it to the exact internal temperature, you get it all the way there, and then just go rush to serve it. It's not going to taste the same. So yeah,
So I
same
think
thing
what
with
we're
your magic
saying
is what we're trying to say.
I think what we're saying is think of your brain as a steak, right? No, but I think there's a lot to be said about resting and resting in between performances and in between practicing. And like Jeff said, I've heard this from some of the one of the top pros in the industry. He was saying a very similar thing about go and find other hobbies and other things to do outside of magic to be able to influence your magic in a good way,
Oh
like
yeah,
be an interesting person to be
yeah,
an interesting magician, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. That's a whole nother conversation there because it's true
Mhm.
stuff. So
For
there's an
sure.
idea.
Sweet, sweet. So rest was the first tip for confidence in performing. The second tip is having backups. And this was, I'll tell you what I mean by this. Having backups, meaning some people carry like a long time ago. Like I do, close up events and stage show events. And with the stage show, obviously, you're going to have some kind of a thing to carry props. But even in the close up environment, I started carrying like a bag or a little. I have like a little. I don't know where it is, it's somewhere in this room right now. But I have like a little close up case, right?
I
And
carry a
it,
few backups back here, by the way.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, but they make these, and this is a quick pro tip. You can get these kind of cases on like TCC, Magic, these close-up cases,
Uh
but you
huh.
can also find cool cases on Amazon that are
Oh
like
yeah,
professional makeup cases for makeup artists that
yeah.
travel, and they look really, black and innocuous and pretty, professional looking.
Yeah, my
And they,
early cases came from Harbor Freight. If you've ever
yeah,
shopped
there you go.
there, very inexpensive tool cases, stuff like that. Good stuff too.
But carrying these kind of cases to the gig and then taking them and saying to, either the bartender there, maybe if there's a bar, or to the host, "Hey, is there a safe place I can put this? This
Yeah,
has my extra stuff in case I need it." And then if somebody spills a drink on your cards or something, you have no worries in the world. You're just like, "Okay,
yeah,
cool." Take a 5 seconds, swap the deck out, and you're ready to go again. Same with coins,
absolutely.
right? You lose a coin, you got extras, right? Like,
Always have something, right? I mean, I don't even leave my house without a spare tire just in case I get a flat.
you carry that in your close-up case as well, or
It's a cool trick, man.
Sponge tire, Alan
Sponge
Wong.
tire.
We need to
That'd be
communicate
awesome.
with
Like the final
Alan
load.
Wong.
How many balls? Boom.
And this, yeah, that would be a good trick actually. You make a tire appear, and like this is the tire from your car, and now they go out to their car, and there's like it's up on a lift, like on
Yeah,
one side.
that reminds. I think one time, Penn Jillette ran over a teller with a semi truck made of
Yep,
foam tires. Like,
that was it. Yeah,
you're-
because they revealed how they did it. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
that's got
dope.
to be
I
out there
remember that.
somewhere.
I remember
Make
that.
that
Yeah,
appear.
but
Always
yeah,
good. I mean, that builds confidence. It really does because you know there's something there. Or if you know you've got a one item trick that if it's really in your professional repertoire and it's a market effect, you probably want to own too. But it has something else that will fit in its place in the set. You know, you have another go to. You have something available, but particularly, I like the idea of having that second copy. It will let you know, hey, if something goes wrong, I got this.
yes, 100%. And we, frequently do certain types of sales and specials and things like that on our products. And
Yeah,
that's a consideration that we're always, reminding you of is, hey, if you've already got a copper silver coin, get another one, right? Because it's not that you need two to perform with necessarily, but you might need a backup. You
you
never
might
know
need
what
one.
could happen,
Or you
you
might
know?
need one a different style, if you got a new trick or something like that different. So it makes sense. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, for the longest time, I was very impressed, I guess, that people would buy multiple traveler wallets, and
Mm.
so I felt like that was a big honor, um, because they already had one, so they'd get another one. But so that's what gave me the encouragement to launch the Viajero, which is why we've got the different colors and everything now. Is because I realized there's a need, so having
Absolutely,
multiple.
absolutely. The other thing too about not even carrying it all in a case is just being prepared on your person with different things, uh, having extras and different things that you can do with different props on your person. The most common example I can think of, we had Miles Thornton on a few months back,
Yeah,
and it's like this idea of carrying multiple Sharpies, right?
yeah.
in case one dries up or something, you're having somebody sign a card, you're doing a coin and Sharpie routine a la Rick Merrill or something, and you drop the Sharpie or something happens, it flies off the edge of the
It happens.
yacht, you know what I mean? Like, let's say we're all performing on yachts, hopefully. There's all sorts of scenarios that could happen. Somebody was talking on the live stream, remember, where they said that they dropped their coin down the heating vent or something? It's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
that would be
Oh,
terrible.
man.
But
Performing
if
on
you have a
yachts.
backup, you have total confidence because you don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, it's what you for. Speaking of performing on yachts, I was fishing the other day, and I dropped my cell phone in the ocean, and that was fun.
Oh, yeah,
So,
you
yeah, there
told me
was
about
no
that.
backup for that.
There's no back iCloud bet was backed up, though, hopefully.
iCode was backup, but
Okay, so
thankfully I found it. It was not very deep where I was at, but that was, interesting. My GPS now my true north is northeast now, but other than that, the phone works. It's crazy.
takes you an extra 7 minutes to get anywhere, but
Yeah.
you're okay.
Other
Um,
hobbies, that was the callback, other hobbies, there you
other
go. I was
hobbies,
getting
there
there
you
right.
go, there you go. So
But I
we talked
shoulda
about
had a backup cell phone, so
for real, right? Yeah. We talk about rest, 2 of everything, backups, and then one final tip we wanted to mention today for performance confidence was having the end game in mind. You wanna talk about that a little bit?
having the end game in mind. Yeah, absolutely. I think if you know the ending, there's confidence in that. So I heard a speaker one time, and he was talking about like how he recorded a football championship game because he had to work that night, and he's a huge fan of this team. And he had been telling everybody at work, this was probably I assume the internet had been around, but he was telling everybody, "Don't tell me the score. I don't want to know the score." He's like, "Don't tell me the score." All day long, he's made it all the way through the day, through the shift. He's coming home late at night, and he gets home, and a family member says, "Oh, by the way, congratulations, they won."
Ah.
It just like sunk up because he had made it like all day, and then it was spoiled because he's gonna watch the game recording. But he said, you know what? It was one of the best games ever because he knew the end. He knew they were going to win, so he could
Mm.
watch it with confidence, like knowing the victory was coming. And it's kind of like one of those movies that at the very beginning they tell you or they show you a scene what's going to happen later in the movie. You kind of know the superhero is going to. I don't know, like that Taken movie. I think it was with Liam Neeson that comes to mind. Like at the very beginning, he basically announces, "This is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to come and get you, and how I'm going to save my daughter, and you guys are going to basically die." Or I don't know what he said. He threatens them, and then the whole movie takes place exactly as he called it. It was like,
Oh, man.
bam, right? So there's this confidence knowing that it's going to get there, that it's going to happen as a performer. And so if you have that end game, what your final trick is, what you hopefully you performed a few times and you expect the reaction to be, then you can steer in that direction.
Yes, yes, yes. And that works for when you're organizing your sets, right? Like you're organizing your we call
Yeah.
closer, the big piece that you're going to end on. It works for when you're organizing a show. It works for what you're thinking of just in your interactions with people. Like what am I trying to get out of this, right? I'm trying to uh, perform for these people and then end with a smile and shake hands and things like that. You already know where you're going,
Yeah.
so you can be confident that no matter what happens, you're going to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that changes things a little bit because again, it's just confidence. It makes you a better performer. And if you're like wondering, I wonder what's going to happen next, and that's you can relate to that emotion the first time you go out and perform a trick, right? And the first time you go out there, you don't know how it's going to end, or if you're going to hit every sleight, or if the sleights work. If you have been practicing somebody else's routine or created a routine, you don't know how you're going to get there, and so you're kind of blindly wondering. And a good performer and good communication, the audience will be gracious with you for that, and they'll reward that effort. I think I found,
Yeah, and
but
what
when you
yeah.
get to that next level, and you need that confidence piece. You need to present confidence. You need to have
What's
the end game.
What's really cool about this too is that it's very similar to like scripting, where it's that idea that you have the ending, and now you can get derailed a little bit, and it won't throw you off from the ending.
No,
So if you know what the end of the routine is and what the ideal as Scott Robinson talks about, like the mind movie, like what you can see happening
mm,
in your imagination. This is what I want the movie to look like.
yeah,
Then if something happens, if somebody makes a comment, let's say the spectator drops the coins, and that's never happened before, you're not gonna be flustered because you can choose not to be flustered in that moment because that's okay. We're just gonna pick the coins up and get back on the railroad track and keep going towards our ending, right?
yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. You can choose, which gives me a bonus tip on this.
Bonus tip.
Bonus tip,
This
along with
one's
the end
free.
game, have a second end game in mind. Like,
Oh,
have
wow.
the callback. Have it there that you know that you've got another trick that didn't fit in this set, but it's just as powerful, if not more powerful than the trick you just performed last, so you can top the top.
And some people talk about that being an encore piece,
An
right?
encore piece, yeah.
Because
Builds
then
confidence,
you're
right? Because what if you
Mhm.
you just finish your greatest thing and say, "Show us another one." You're like,
Yeah. And you're like, no, no." And they're like, "Show us another one."
yeah,
Well, I mean, I did save one more, and then, "Oh, yeah," and now you're into your encore planned,
yeah."
but it looks like it wasn't planned, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's the best, right? That's the best when it doesn't feel forced. I remember, Mike Close had this, Doctor Strange trick, this really cool,
Mhm.
twist over what was the name of what was that
Card
style?
warp, card warp,
Card warp effect,
yeah.
and he had a plan in place to restore the card, I think it was at the very
Mhm,
end,
mhm,
but he only performed it if they asked or if they challenged him and said, "That's crazy, but I bet you can't do this." And he'd be like, but he's already and after he's letting them react, he's setting up for it just in case. It was
mhm,
just in case he wouldn't perform it unless they made a comment that like challenged or said, "Oh, that's a shame you can't do that." Like they're disappointed or they asked for one more. Otherwise, he wouldn't perform it. But in the reaction, he would set up for it every single time. That's
mhm.
pretty clever.
No, that's fantastic, and there was something I was thinking of as we were going, through this, all of these things, rest, having backups, end game in mind, not only give you confidence, but also you can't help but exude that, and the people watching you will feel that confidence,
Yeah.
which is going to make your performance way, way better, right? Because they feel like they're in the hands of a competent performer who's going to take them along a journey, excuse me, a journey and drop them off in a nice place, right?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Think about why people succeed in life. I mean, I think I was just reading Jordan B. Peterson's book, and his first rule for life is keep your head up and your shoulders back. And that confidence approach is just what's so important. And when you're young, when you're first starting with magic, you are confident. You go out there, and people reward you for your energy, even if you mess up or whatever like that. That even your cuteness, you're confident. But then after a few performances, a few years, a few mistakes, you can get jaded, you can get set back, you can get fearful or timid. And that's just a natural cycle in life, I think. So examine that. Look for ways that you can build your confidence and do these tips, and I think you'll be better.
100%, 100%. Well, we're gonna have to wrap up there for today, but I want to share this little link
Boom, boom,
here,
boom, boom, boom.
copelandcoins.com. It's actually giveaway.copelandcoins.com/free gift, because that will give you a free routine plus a couple other free routine moves and routines and things, and get you on our email list, because then we will be having, like I said earlier, different promotions and things like that,
Yeah,
opportunities for you to get backups of your props and have
absolutely.
confidence.
It says free gift, but there's more than one gifts coming your way if you click
Oh,
that
yeah.
link.
Oh, yeah, there's some good stuff. So, check that out, make sure you sign up for that, and also share this with a friend, because we wanna
Boom.
share that magic to as many people as we can.
Yep. All right,
Awesome,
guys.
awesome. Well, thank you for being here. We will see you next time. Now go make beautiful magic.